It's the right decision. I think that's a coming together. I appreciate that Toko and Joy's arm is high as an elbow, but again, that's not purposeful. It's just a way that the players have come together.
Mamieto against Mulambika. So ball in Zambia for Green Buffaloes. She's 19 years old and making her tournament debut tonight. Come out with certainly that edge, fighting edge in the early stages of the second half, Malawi. But it is such a mountain to climb.
It is. This is just the other angle. Still stand by. Said originally. Just the fact it's coming together. Makana's in there as well. But you're expecting this in terms of the reaction from Malawi. You know, in the second half, they were going to come out for at least the first 10, 15 minutes. They will be going hell for leather to try and get back into this game.
When you have a leader like Tabitha Chawinga, who has forged such a path in Malawi with her sister by her side, it would have been an inspirational half-time team talk. The referee getting caught up in play there, so it will be a drop ball. To Zimu. That will be taken once again. A penny for the thought of Vasily. Such an incredible job getting to this stage against all the odds, ranked 153rd in the FIFA rankings. And they've acted like nothing but underdogs, really, in the way that they've held themselves and composed themselves. And a story for every child out there who's lived and dreamed about the impossible. Mamieto fizzes the ball in. Anyone in the green and red and yellow of Cameroon. Bellick was one of the closest, and Ivana Makana was striding in there, but had far too much pace and couldn't control the ball.
Going back to what you're saying there, Ellen, I think in time they will appreciate just how amazing this run has been, but context is everything. And once you're there, once you're in the final, you want to go and win it. So if it is to stay like this, they'll be hurting and they'll hurt for a while, but probably as well, when they get home and the reception they will realise just what they've done for Malawi in football.
Here is Tamwa. A heavy first touch from Tendai Sani. And the attack very quickly fizzles out. There has been improved investment in the top flight in Malawi this year. An inaugural NBM Women's Premiership won by the Silver Strikers, qualifying for the CAF Women's Champions League. Sani. Mulambika. Tabitha Chawinga. Battling.
Listen to that raw Cameroon fans again, and it's something that I mentioned in the first half. If one player loses the battle, there's always another one to back up because they've got their distances and spaces spot on, and they've been so difficult to break down.
He was pacing back and forth, up and down the technical area through the early stages of this clash, and now resigned to his seat, Vasily. Dise. Kamalo. Place pass, and it will be a throw for Cameroon in front of that packed stand. They're all battling to get as close to the front as possible. Real good noise coming from both sets of fans, and would have improved the mood for Malawi if Temwa could have found a way through. Stopped by the captain on the pitch, Zana. Here comes Grasmendua. Still running up against Mkandawire. Waka holding the back of her head. There's why.
It's the elevation, isn't it? No foul behind it, but you do have to elevate your arms like that when you're jumping.
The attack continues. Temwa trying to find a way forward. Some whackers there. Can't conjure anything up. She's got the pace to burn. National record holder for Malawi in the 100, 200 and 400 metres.
She's fast though.
She's fast. A reminder that she missed the first 2 games of this competition because she was still competing at the Commonwealth Games in the 200 and 400 metres where she made the semi-finals just 2 weeks ago. What a story that is. So go enjoy it. There's Grasmendua ahead of her. And Van Dieker is the player to come out and meet her this time.
More of an impact in the game during this second half. We saw so much of the attack go down the right hand side of Mieto. Seems to be changing tact a little bit, Cameroon.
And they have been undone by set pieces. Malawi, they need to be alert this time. Toko Njoya. Right, falls nicely to Mandira. Well, appeals there for a handball. And there's plenty of them. And still, the calls coming from the players and indeed the fans as well.
They'll be looked at. I'm not surprised. For me, I don't know if it hits the arm, but the arm is an unnatural position. There is no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, they'll be quick to react to that VAR because the arm was incredibly raised there. And it is Irene Kamalo. It was Grasmendua trying to get the strike away, and you would be really surprised if this is given any way other than penalty.
As I say, sort of on first view, I didn't know whether the arms were up and it might have hit the midriff, but for me, arms are out, making the body bigger in an unnatural position. Those are the things that are looked at by the referees, and I personally can't see any other decision than a penalty.
Well, they're continuing to make the VAR sign the way of the referee, and that will not be looked at on the pitch side monitor by the referee. Now, I hope we get the benefits of a replay, but first it's Tabitha Chawinga who's striding forward, and it's saved initially. And once again, Michele makes herself very tall. So what you can see the frustration. She needed to lift the ball up, but Michele was there, long and on the ground and in the way.
Well, especially in the context of what's just happened as well. If this had gone in, there'd have been some very, very unhappy Cameroon players and fans I'm astonished that the penalty wasn't given. Maybe in the VAR hub they've seen a different angle than we have.
And that is why I think it would be of great benefit to see additional angles of that replay.
Great ball out by the keeper.
She has the distribution as well, doesn't she, to add to that shot-stopping prowess. And Cameroon come forward again, and that had far too much on it and into the crowd to make quite a joke about being struck by the stray ball.
Oh, rather the dramatic 5 minutes, hasn't it? Without actually the ball being in the back of the net, but we've had so much action in one way or another.
I feel it just adds an extra bit of fuel to the fire on either side. Temwa. And the free kick given as Zana holding her ankle down on the ground.
Cameroon, it's an opportunity just to try and slow the game down. To be honest, it's so chaotic and still not fully in control of this game, that's for sure. Yes, the scoreline says so, but in terms of what's happening on the pitch, still all over the place.
He would be desperate to add a 4th clean sheet, and a clean sheet in the final would just cement the status of Michele. If that hasn't already been cemented. She plays her football in Benfica, doing the League and Cup double this year after joining in February. And there will be plenty of eyes on her future. It has been quite the summer for the goalkeepers, hasn't it, across the men's and the women's game?
It's a position sort of back in the day that no one wanted to do growing up, and it was sort of stuck in goal by default, but certainly now that is so much different nowadays. It's such a hard position to play, and it's being given the respect it deserves in the last few years.
Lambika. Zana is to use Michele. 9 of the previous 13 finals, the winning team has kept a clean sheet. And here come Cameroon once again. Go Belek. As a go from distance, it gets her shot all wrong.
She does, and especially when you've got Naomi Atto to the right. Completely the wrong decision. That ball just needed to be slipped through to her teammate.
How about this for a statistic as well? The 2024 final is the only occasion on which a team that has scored first has gone on to lose, and that was, of course, when Morocco led Nigeria by 2-0 before the Super Falcons came back to win 3-2. And of course, the Super Falcons, one of the talking points of this tournament, but for all the wrong reasons, as Peter Chewinga wanted a free kick there.
Good defender. Really clever. Makana takes the inside line. And when the opportunity shows itself, just to body across. This was the earlier opportunity for Malawi. Stand strong, Michele, and then it's the fact that she gets back up so quickly to make it so difficult for Tamwa Chewinga.
On an incredible run of games, Michele, in this tournament. And it was the Nigeria game that really sparked the conversation around the 22-year-old. A series of incredible saves against the 10-time champions. Backed it up in the semi-final with 4 penalty saves, including one late on in extra time that would have won Morocco the game should it have been scored. Hasn't had as much to do in this game, but when she's been called upon, she's reacted ever so well, and she may be called upon once again here. Temwa trying to find a way through. as her sister stumbles into the box and is there waiting. Here come Cameroon once again.
So they're ceremoniously brought down, and they're losing, or if it's 0-0, probably keeps going to play the advantage, but got no problem with that in terms of just taking their time, managing the game, Cameroon, because for me, in these moments in the second half, Malawi have been on top in the sense they're the ones on the ball, trying to attack, having the better chances.
This is a Cameroon team that were only included in the competition late on, failing to make it through the early stages of qualifying, as the competition was then expanded to 16, and through their FIFA ranking were included in the competition. It is quite the incredible story. Eto'o chasing. She won't get there this time. Faith Chimzimu is down, holding her ankle once again.
Just a follow through, isn't it? She gets caught, the legs extended.
Being helped by her teammate, Destin Kandawere. Already made 2 of their substitutions, Malawi. Skelo. Alfandika. Temwa. Sani chasing. Mbika, all bouncing around, punched away by Michele. Quick to react once again. She had to be, with the threat of the Chawinga sisters there and waiting just ahead of her. Zimu trying to dance away past Goembelek. Sani. Free pedaling to get out of the way. There's now Cameroon trying to launch a trademark counter-attack forward. Tucker and Joya. Swaka racing back. Ndua. Churning, can't find her sister. It's Maya Kit.
This minute or so, it's become incredibly stretched. More urgency from Malawi. The problem is it's creating so many gaps, and when Cameroon win it back, they've got so much space.
And it's matched with the energy, isn't it, from Cameroon? Because they've been here before. But this time is different, and here's Grasmendua. Oh, it's careless once again. But this time, Sikelo alert, quickly down, smothering the ball. Marion Manga cannot find a way to add to her too and complete her hat-trick.
As well there, the goalkeeper has to react, takes a little bit of deflection. The way through. She's ready.
20 minutes left to play of regulation time. Chawinga wins a free kick, but first there will be a change of personnel on the pitch, and it is Goembelek who is making her way off the pitch in place of Fatima Kome.
Fair to Mbele. She's run herself into the ground. She's been absolutely everywhere.
They're delighted with the efforts of their team so far. Here comes Fatima Kome of Besiktas. 3 appearances as a substitute, including in the semi-final. Made 1 start, that was against Cabo Verde. where the team was heavily rotated for that 1-1 draw. They are ensuring that their unbeaten record is continuing all the way through this tournament. There's power on the ball, but no accuracy.
Sure on the thought process there. Sure she was trying to catch Michele out. Either way, wasn't the right execution.
And as we've learned in recent weeks, it takes something rather spectacular to catch out Michele. This time the handball is given, and it is the experienced head in the back line, Medisa.
The urgency's becoming ever erratic now for Malawi, and I understand it. They're desperate. You can see it's then affecting the quality of their game.
Unable to make a dent really in the possession. Cameroon have been on top for what feels like a very, very long time. Mandua, excellent with the ball at her feet. A huge chance once again. Naomi Eto'o couldn't stretch, desperately trying to get her head on the ball and send it into the top corner. This time it doesn't pay off, and the ball goes out for a throw.
Unfortunately for Naomi Eto'o, I think for me, she's probably just in there a little bit too quickly. She hangs out, waits for the flight of the ball, and then comes onto it. She's better served. That's easier said from here, but when Dua did extremely well.
Cameroon rewriting their own history. Indomitable by name, indomitable by nature, this tournament.
So just hangs it up. And they were hoping someone could get on the end of it.
Careless once again from Malawi. Zimu hesitates before sending the ball out of play. You could understand what Rosella Fandika was trying to do there to prevent the corner, but she needed to get more behind the ball instead of just passing it towards the onrushing attackers.
Very nearly created a worse situation for herself by trying to prevent the corner.
Fast approaching the final 15 minutes. What feels like the rebirth of a giant in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. For so long, Cameroon were the reliable team in making the semi-finals. They went on an incredible run between 2002 and 2018, making it to every single semi-final without fail. 3-time runners-up. And now, the change in the top of the order. One of the most prominent nations in the competition, who went on really indescribable decline after the cancellation of the tournament in 2020. And this recovery has been nothing short of spectacular for a team saved by their FIFA rankings to even make it into the group stage of this tournament. There's a reminder of the goal scorers, and it is Ngamanga, now on 5 goals, joint level top scorer. There's now 4 lead the way with 5 goals. On a hat-trick. What a story that would be if she could add a 6th goal and a 3rd tonight. was well shepherded into the hands of Sikelo.
Going back to Manga, she had that golden opportunity, didn't she, where she rounded Sikelo, completely missed the target. And the win is obviously the most important thing, but that will haunt her if she doesn't get the hat-trick, I'm sure.
Almost spilled uncharacteristically, but under the pressure of Tabitha Chawinga staring right into the eyes of Michele Bahina, snatching back at the ball. She is a young goalkeeper full of confidence. Actually used to be a striker, and her coaches, because she was growing so quickly as a youngster, told her maybe you might be better placed in goal. And now what a story she has written come 2026.
That's why I stayed as a striker. I was the other way around. I started tall and stopped growing.
I think even I'd have a good go against you if you're in goal. Zana won't be able to take this throw just yet, because a change will come. Kapila making her way onto the pitch for Malawi, as off comes Simenye Simwaka, who has had quite the busy couple of weeks. Kapila on in her place on the wing. One of the players who's come through at Shymkent in Kazakhstan, where plenty of players have had opportunities in the Women's Champions League. It's been a real place of growth for young talent to come through. We're playing for Farm Hill Sports Club in Egypt. You don't really need to guess the thoughts there, do you, of Omar Fazli?
Very much a look of resignation, I would say.
And he'll be hoping it's not resignation from his role in its entirety. His contract's still up in the air. Mediso, ball deflected. She's always been there and thereabouts, hasn't she, Naomi Eto'o? This has been such an important tournament over the years for players securing big moves over to Europe, into the NWSL. Such a great opportunity for developing stars to show off their talent. Here's one of them, Toko Njoya, the Real Madrid setup, joining from Getafe. Chawinga is well established at Lyon, and of course in the Women's Champions League as well, where she's had a massive role to play over the years for one of the biggest teams and indeed most successful teams in Europe. Another look on the face of Sarah Mullenbeek says it all. Time is running out. Less than 15 minutes to play. We're closer to 10 now of normal time. And we haven't had a huge amount of stoppages, have we, in this second half? As forward comes Fatima Gome. Tries to send the ball out to the wing, but it was closely watched by Owen Kumalo. Here's Toko Njoya. That runs out to play ahead of Ivana Makiana.
Times there, Kome on the ball. The pass has gone awry, not the right weight and direction. Brilliant work, isn't it, by Naomi Eto'o? She's got no right to get there. Yes, she doesn't keep it in, but in moments where Malawian defence and Sikelo have lived a little bit dangerously and paid the price.
And particularly when Malawi have shown those signs of weaknesses in the back line from set pieces. Of course, you go and pressure the goalkeeper like that and hope that she would make a mistake. It has been a difficult evening for Mercy Sikelo. She was dropped during the FIFA series back in April, shown incredible mental fortitude to pick herself back up after that, and of course had some big moments through the early stages of the competition and into the knockouts. It hasn't been her night tonight. Gok. There's Naomi Eto to Gome. Keeps skipping forward here, hurdling those who fall ahead of her. Unable to hurdle over Chimwemwe Madisa on that occasion.
Just one too many. There's a cut back into the box. An option wants to try and take on another, and one too many.
Well, they know time has run out likely for the victory, Malawi, but they're desperate to take home a goal, at least in the final. Go on, Joy. Kandorere. Sani sends it out, and it does feel like, even though Cameroon were the team that were pushed to extra time, won in penalties, of course, over host Morocco, that the tired legs are very much with Malawi.
I think mentally tired as well, and it's unbelievable how that can creep into you physically as well.
Cameroon coming forward once again, and once again it's Eto, and a big save this time for Mercy Sikelo.
It's Manga asking the question. Arms aloft, wants to cut back, but I don't think there was any chance that Naomi Eto wasn't taking on the shot there.
Well, both of them huge contributors to the continental glory that Cameroon are just mere moments away from securing.
Credit to Sikelo there, actually does well with her movement, comes across, cuts down the angle. So I think the way that Cameroon have managed the game, it's been fantastic. They've had so many moments where they've been under pressure, but they've not panicked. Big players in the side have stepped up, scored the goals, they've taken their opportunities, and such a professional performance throughout.
Particularly when all the talk has been about their defensive record, the fact that they came out and played this game so front-footed from the start, a clear sign that they know their abilities, and that woman in particular, Naomi Eto, is well aware of hers tonight, and now the whole world is awake to her talents.
It's a challenge there, but it was all set up for it to go against Cameroon, really, as you mentioned, because we're talking about their defensive record. We were also talking about the threats going forward of Malawi, especially the Chewinga sisters, and that was all there ready, the story for that defence to be breached. But Cameroon, no, stood strong in their defence and scored goals to go with it.
And can they find another here? Oh, not too far away. They are pushing and pushing all the way to the line. There is no let up in this attack.
There isn't. Keep up. Kele gets caught out again. She comes and does at that front post area. Probably, if anything, almost gets too much on it. They're the ones where you just want to get a touch, glide it on its way.
So there's the lay of the land, and it has all been Cameroon. 85, almost 86 minutes now on the clock. Cameroon 3, Malawi 0. All the real excitement in front of And more changes to come. Off comes Grass Mendua. And James waiting to come on. And Bam as well. Well, the party has already started. It's long started in the pockets of Cameroonian fans in the crowd. And now all Malawi can hope for is that consolation goal. Clock is ticking down, but Cameroon's desire to add a fourth and a third for this woman is not ending. Garmanga has found herself just a little bit deeper in the last 10-15 minutes or so. It hasn't always been there in the same manner of Naomi Eto'o, who's been chomping at the bit to try and add a second to her tally.
She's controlled the game though. I think that's why she's dropping in. She's just trying to bring a little bit of calm to the chaos.
Can they do here? Diving header guided away from goal. Medise. Ella Rose and her running continuing. One of a couple of players for Cameroon who play their football in Saudi Arabia. Chwenga. Well covered off by the Cameroonian defence. She still has the ball at her feet though, closely watched by Makana. They'll have the throw. Kandawere. Into the final 30 seconds now. Here's a look at that collision. Quite a sandwich.
Not a penalty for me.
I think it was for Zilli that stayed glued to his seat, resigned to the fate of Malawi. Some talk around his contract as well, which is up at the end of this game, and we are now into 3 minutes of additional time. Can they find the consolation that they have long chased? Bouncing ball away of Tabita Chwenga. He keeps running here. Tema was there and waiting.
Unfortunately for Malawi, that moment there tells the story of the whole game. I think waiting for either Tabita or Temwa Chwenga to do something spectacular, having that moment rather than really forging out clear-cut chances.
Well, this is a special substitution. On comes the captain, Gabriel Ngene, and off comes Garmanga. And this is a record 8th AFCON from Gere, the captain of this team. And what a moment. She was present in the squad in 2016 and maybe more than present, I think it's fair to say, winning the best player. Here's Temwa trying to secure the top scorer for 2026, of course a decade on from Cameroon's last final. That was on home soil. Now in Morocco, they are assured of the victory halfway through the 3 minutes. We're approaching now the final 60 seconds. Joya won't mind taking that yellow card.
And she literally laughed, not at the referee, but at the yellow card, as if to say, oh, I'm not bothered.
Less than 60 seconds to play. Malawi in desperate hunt of a consolation goal. They will be so proud of what they've achieved regardless. Can they just find the goal? No, they can't. Of course they can't. They need something spectacular to find a way past Michaeli Bahina. And even with Temwa and Tabitha Chawinga in the squad, they haven't come close today.
Times have run really well, though, I will say. Tabitha Chawinga.
Oh, a chance! And just look at that. What a moment. What a story. The captain. Oh, the flag has gone up. Well, the flag went up initially. She's mobbed by her players, shown a yellow card. And the referee trying to get in the centre of here. And it was just passed into the back of the net.
I don't know if maybe that VAR on the ear of the referee, the assistant. No suspicion of offside there. Is it there? It's close. From that angle, it's difficult to see. So that camera wasn't completely in line. Again, Sakalo coming out, nowhere near the ball. Not overly sure what's happening.
Well, what a story it would be for Gabriel Ngene. And no, it would have been the perfect ending, wouldn't it? Too good to be true for the captain at 37 years old, just subbed on. And it is all over. And there is a new name etched into greatness. Their first victory on their 4th attempt. Cameroon reign supreme. 2 decades after their first final. Glory is finally theirs. This is the rebirth of a giant. A roar from lionesses of old through a generation of new. The fairy tale comes to an end for Malawi, but what a story is just beginning for the debutantes. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, Cameroon, dominant, and you can see what it means to this squad.
Yeah, it's incredible. They have proved sort of the doubters wrong in terms of the Malawi front line. Fantastic defensive performance from them, which we expected, but maybe the 3 goals we didn't, and it's been a long time coming. 4th time in the final, and finally for them, the 4th time lucky. But I'd love to see this as well, that connection between the players, the commiserations to the Malawi contingent, but Cameroon for me fully deserved that. It was a fantastic performance.
Yeah, this is a final where everyone, you feel, celebrating, because what a story it is on both sides. Debutantes Malawi reaching the final, lowest ranked team in the competition. up against a team that didn't think they would be here and have now won the lot. Their fourth attempt. They failed to score in their first three, and they've made up for lost. When this all settles, the dust settles, we'll be so proud and celebrate that.
Yeah, and they should be proud of themselves now, and it's hard in the moment because context is everything. You get to a final, you want to win it, you deserve to be there, and you think you've got a chance to win it. And you know, they did have that chance, but unfortunately on the night they just didn't perform at the level that was needed. But once they get home, the dust settles and the emotion wears off, they will see how well they've done in this tournament, the importance of what it will mean for everyone watching back home, and it's such a massive platform now for Malawi to move on to.
But these are your champions. They've secured their place, of course, in a third World Cup. They're heading to Brazil next summer as the reigning WAFCON champions. It's Cameroon who have emerged victorious, and plenty more reaction to come back in the studio.
Thanks very much to Ellen and to Courtney. We'll be with them for the medal and trophy ceremony once again. But now we're going to hear from Anita and from Fern here in studio with us, because this is an incredible moment for the indomitable Lionesses. Finally, at the fourth time of asking, they have managed to claim the crown. They are the continent's best WAFCON champions 2026. And what a way they've done it, Anita.
Oh, simply incredible. I mean, what a fantastic story. I mean, you know, I think, we're seeing players
It's loose, it's flicked into the back of the net. What a moment for Cameroon, who double their lead. Naomi Eto'o, who's trying to find her way past the goalkeeper. Oh, of course. It's superb. The celebrations are wild.
A remarkable moment for the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. They are first-time WAFCON champions. 2 of the 3 goals scored by Maringa.
Does it feel?
We are very happy because, you know, we have been working so hard all these years to get here and to finally being champions. We are very happy. We are very proud of us.
You know, a lot of people will say Cameroon came into the tournament a little bit later, but it means you had to work very quickly to get the team to work really well in this competition. With the coaching staff, how quickly did you have a camaraderie together?
This is all about mentality. We know how we managed to get into the tournament. That is why we have to say thank you for our president of federation, Mr. Samuel Etofis, because he brought up the good coaching staff, and you can see the result now.
Okay, you got 2 goals. Did you maybe think maybe one more, a hat trick?
Maybe yes, you saw that opportunity that I had in the second half, but I just have to say thank to the Almighty God for the 2 goals of today.
And the most beautiful thing is, finally, Cameroon can now say they are champions of Africa. In your heart, what does this mean to all these fans that came to support you guys?
We just have to say thank you because, you know, it's very important to us to see our people, our fans pushing us in every little game, every single game. So we are very happy. I think they are happy too.
Now, I know Cameroonians can party. What are you guys going to do to celebrate tonight?
Of course, we are going to enjoy with everything we had left after the game.
Okay, congratulations. And also congratulations for your play of the match as well. Enjoy. Look at the shades, eh? Very cool, very cool.
I think they came prepared. Well, that's Cameroon's first ever goal in a final, their 4th one.
Yeah, it was incredible, and I think what she did so well is take up these central positions in the box where she can be a nuisance, get between defenders, and as soon as this ball gets out wide, Eto's first thought is, can I get a good delivery into the box? And Ngamanga is completely free and in the second phase and is comfortably just taps it into the back of the net. And, you know, that really set off their momentum from there, because then they got the belief and they had that attacking prowess from then on.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was all about the second phases, wasn't it? Being switched on, if you're not first to the first ball, they were there for the second ball every single time they reacted first.
It was also in keeping with their tradition of scoring very early on. They'd led 2-0 after 30 minutes, and then this is the 3rd goal for the same combination again.
Yeah, it's almost a carbon copy of the one we've just looked at. Again, it comes in from the wide areas and first to react when the ball comes in. Keeper comes in. Could the keeper have done better? Probably, but first to react again in the box and so alert, and again makes the difference for a side.
And it was about quality deliveries. You know, you put it in an area where they knew exactly where their attacking players could attack every area of the box, and Malawi just couldn't cope with them.
Well, that took her to 5 goals and level in that race for the Golden Boot with 3 other players. This is the moment that could have won the Golden Boot for her.
Oh, she's going to kick herself for this one, isn't she? She does so well. Again, that composure around the keeper, and she just can't quite wrap her foot around it. And like you say, she could have been on a hat-trick here. Again, causes problems for the defence, stays on side. Yeah, and she makes it, stands up really tall. Keeper goes round her, and she just can't put it. She's kicking herself here. Well, she's won, so I don't think she'll be too bothered now.
In the end, she does get the big trophy and also the trophy player of the match. How much do you think that moment will be bothering her, because she has missed out on the Golden Boot to Temwa Chawinga?
Well, I think she's going to be more pleased that she's won the African Cup for the very first time for her nation and qualified for the FIFA World Cup. But of course, in terms of personal accolades, I'm sure, again, she'll be kicking herself. But
African football, Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, just behind him. All the dignitaries stepping out for the big moment. The awards ceremony will follow shortly. We've got it live for you after this.
Cameroon. And there is a new name etched into greatness. Cameroon reign supreme.
Cameroon are the champions, and we are now looking at their goalkeeper, Michaeli, because she's been awarded the Golden Glove. That's no surprise. Clean sheets throughout the knockout phases for her.
Fully deserved. She's been phenomenal. As you say, the penalty saves in the semi-final, the win against Nigeria, she's been absolutely phenomenal and deserves all the applaudance she's getting. She's been amazing.
And now the first time that Cameroon have kept a clean sheet in a WAFCON final at their 4th attempt. Big celebrations there with the Federation President Samuel Eto'o. Now we're seeing scenes of Temwa Shawinga, 5 goals to win the Golden Boot, level with Ines Conan of Cote d'Ivoire, Barbara Banda of Zambia, and Marie Ngamanga, who scored 2 in the final. But it's her 2 assists that take her, Anita, to the top of the charts.
Yeah, she's been phenomenal, an outstanding player, so difficult to play against, and I think again she's shown her class on this stage as well. What a way to represent her country.
Looks a little bit confused. Is it me? Yes, it is indeed. The player of the tournament, Monique Ngok. Fern, your thoughts on the tournament she's had?
No, she's quality for me. I spoke about it so much during this game today. I'm not sure about what's going on leading into this, but she is so class. Protected that back line. I don't think some of the clean sheets they got would have came if she wasn't there, just sitting in front of them, marshalling them all the way along. And
yes, and I was celebrating her. I could see Dr. Patrice Motsepe telling her they were so proud of you, taking a photo there with some of the dignitaries, Samuel Eto'o, Gianni Infantino, Monique Ngok. Your thoughts on her performances, not just tonight, but throughout the tournament?
Yeah, I just think she's such an intelligent player. She's been marshalling in front of that defence, and she's shown her
Well, there are smiles in there amongst Malawi, who have had the silver medals hung around their neck, and Courtney can really understand the mix of emotions there as Tabita Chawinga raises her hands as onto the stage come Cameroon. What a performance rewriting their history in this tournament. They said it was a big goal when they came up against Nigeria in the quarterfinals. Their desire was to rewrite that unwanted history that they had. They did that with the 1-0 victory. So important was the role of Michele Bahina as she walks past the FIFA president and, of course, the president of CAF as well, as she receives her medal. They've done this in the most spectacular of fashions defensively, Courtney, only conceding 2 in open play, as Iro said there. But today they were a different beast going forward.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, we'd be remiss not to talk about the battles over the years that they've had with Nigeria in the finals. The fact that obviously up until this point and earlier in the competition, they beat Nigeria. Gianni Infantino looks a very popular amongst the Cameroonian players. But yeah, look, it's been fantastic the way that they've conducted themselves defensively, how good they've been. But the fact that they came into the final tonight on the front foot, and I think actually Anita mentioned it in the studio, they still defended, but just in a different way. They defended from the front. They made sure that in terms of, we spoke about the big threats of Malawi, they stopped that at source. They didn't let it get that far. And these are massive moments for a lifetime. So everyone getting their selfies in, because, they might be celebrating and have a few sore heads and not remember too much. So get your pictures in while you can.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is going to be a slow train across the stage here as Mogai collects a selfie with each and every one in the delegation party, of course, from the nations that were competing here in the final and across the tournament as well, those in the playoff yesterday. And well, there's some very happy faces there. They have overcome a slump in performances. They were so dominant in the years between 2002, 2018. They didn't qualify in 2024. They nearly didn't qualify in 2026. But what a moment, what a story, and what a team, what a way to claim their first continental title. And the celebrations will be wild tonight. The sunglasses on, everyone is prepared already. They came well prepared. And of course, what a story this is for their captain. Gabriel Ngenge, 37 years old, playing at a record 8th WAFCON in the squad for the 2016 final. The best player of the tournament in the 2016 WAFCON. In the squad for both of the World Cups as well that Cameroon have competed in 2015, where they made the round of 16, knocked out in 2019 in the hands of England, and now they're off for their 3rd next year. Their tickets booked, stamped, ready for Brazil. From 16 down to 2, with Cameroon reigning victorious. A first-time champion was guaranteed. And from the heartbreak of 3 previous final defeats to the very top of Africa, finally, patience and perseverance prevail. And here we go. Cameroon are the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations champions, rewriting their own history. What a victory, overcoming 2 decades of near misses, of hurt, of painful trips home,